What's the best way to hide from the Ukrainian gangsters that you're currently in debt with? If you said fake your own death, then congratulations, you think just like our boy Harry. In the year 2000, Harry was the owner of an Australian engineering company and was doing quite well for himself. That is, until he got in business with some Ukrainian gangsters and saw no way out for himself from whatever dire situation he was in with them. So without telling anyone, one night he gets on his speedboat, goes out into the open water, cracks the windshield of the boat, leaves his phone and his wallet with all his personal information, on the boat, gets off the boat onto a rubber dinghy, makes his way back to shore where he has a van waiting for him with $100,000 in it. Yeah, homie just up and disappeared and made it look like he was lost at sea. So Harry is married to Sheila, and they have a 30-year-old daughter named Jo. Their marriage was basically on the rocks when Harry pulled this little stunt. A couple of days after his disappearance, Sheila filed a claim with the insurance company for the policy that he had against him. It was a $3.5 million policy. At this point, Harry isn't officially dead yet, but the insurance company cut her a check for $25,000 immediately. She wanted the whole 3.5, but the insurance company was like, nah, chill on that. We only pay when someone is actually dead, not presumed dead. Slow down. So over the next couple months, Harry's existing. He's still in Australia, but he starts feeling like a shell of himself. He misses Sheila, even though their marriage wasn't great. Sure, he has some money on him, but with no driver's license, no identification, he didn't really feel alive that much, and he was starting to feel uncomfortable. So one day, he goes back home, and upon seeing him, Sheila doesn't cry and run up and hug him or show any big display of emotion. She's kind of like, boy, what you doing here? He explains the situation, and then she explains how the insurance company won't kick in for the $3.5 million because he's not officially dead yet. So Harry calls Jo and lets her know that he's still alive. Sheila and Jo know that Harry's still alive, and they agree to keep his secret. And Harry agrees to help Sheila get the money from the insurance company. A year later, Harry was officially declared dead. And when that happened, he got himself a fake ID and left Australia. He went to Spain and then South Africa. But by 2002, he finally decides to settle in New Zealand. And that's important because Australia and New Zealand are kind of really close to each other. They're like neighboring close countries. Meanwhile, Sheila is still trying to get that insurance money, especially now that Harry's officially dead. But the insurance company wasn't going for it. They was like, nah, streets need a body. Look, if you gonna try to pull one over on the people who's supposed to give you millions of dollars, you gotta come correct. Anyway, once in New Zealand, Harry gets a job as a garage salesman, and he's back to getting money. He's still in contact with Sheila as he's trying to work with her on this insurance thing. A year later, he even meets a new woman, and he gets engaged. Everything is looking up for Harry. Tell me why. One day, while walking on this hiking trail with his fiancée, Harry runs into his older brother. Like, what the Imagine going to your little brother's funeral just to randomly bump into him 5 years later on a hiking trail. Boy, I'm gonna keep it real. If that's my little brother, we throwing hands on sight. But Harry's brother, Michael, he's like, Harry, is that you? Now remember, Harry doesn't go by that name anymore. And he's standing there with his fiance. So he kind of slides over to his brother and he's like, yes, me, man. Let me holler at you later though. Remember that Jeezy line from back in the day? Don't mention my name. Michael, apparently cool about it, doesn't want to make a scene. He kind of just walks away. Later on, Harry does follow up with him and comes clean about everything. So here's the thing. Ever since Harry died, Mike, as the older brother, has been kind of helping Sheila out with whatever she needs. As far as Mike knows, Sheila is completely in the dark. So he calls up Sheila and tells her to go to the cops. I get Mike is upset, but I don't know about the whole snitching thing, man. If my brother did that, I'd be mad, I'd throw hands, but I don't know if I'm going to the cops about it. Now, Sheila is hesitant about going to the cops because, for one, it's going to totally ruin the insurance claim because you're certainly not getting $3.5 million when you tell him that your husband faked his death. And she's worried that her involvement is bound to come out. But I guess she figures since Mike knows if I don't go to the cops, he'll go to the cops. So who knows? I guess Mike somehow convinces her to call the police. Harry ends up getting arrested. After the ensuing investigation, Sheila is also arrested. They were going to charge Joe, but they eventually dropped that. Harry ends up serving 12 months on a 15-month sentence, and Sheila does 5 months. Harry did end up marrying the fiancée sometime later, and he even wrote a book about the whole ordeal. Moral of the story, if you're gonna fake your death, don't go to the neighboring country. Go somewhere else.